Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this webinar this morning from Bluebridge One. My name's Neil Rose, and I'm with my colleague Noni Ngubo, and we both work in the product team in Bluebridge on our suite apps, which OneShip is one, and that's the one we're going to be looking at this morning. So what we'll do, there'll be a short presentation that Noni will run. And then I'm going to show you what OneShip does in the NetSuite account, so you can see how you can use it to sort of automate your shipping process in terms of booking shipments on with your shipping carriers, generating labels and things like that, and really making the process as slick as possible. So it lasts about 30 minutes. If you have any questions, then please, there's a button, sort of a question button you should see on your webinar screen, and please sort of post any questions, and we'll answer those at the end. And any we can't answer or we run out of time, then we'll feedback separately on those. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Noni, and we'll kick off.
Alrighty, thank you, and thank you for joining us, guys. Alrighty, so just to give you a brief introduction into us as a company, we are long-established partners in the EMEA region with over 20 years of experience with NetSuite. We've got offices in the United Kingdom, South Africa, which is where I am, as well as Romania. As a group or as a company, we hold a range of accreditations, and this is mainly so that we are able to provide the best services when it comes to us setting up anything for our customers. Relating to OneShip, which is what we are going to be showing you today, we form part of the Suite Cloud Developer Network, and OneShip actually has a built for NetSuite accreditation solution, which is tested twice yearly. This is done prior to the latest release of NetSuite. This is mainly so that we can maintain our approval status. Alrighty, so today we are going to be concentrating on a different section regarding OneShip, which has to do with setting up your service group rules. But what you're looking at now is a common issue that most of our customers have come to us with, and that has to do with double data entry, where you have to enter data, obviously, in your NetSuite account, as well as your respective carrier or shipper, in this case, your DPD. With OneShip, we make sure that everything is done within NetSuite. So basically, OneShip is installed into your account via bundle, which would then connect you to your carriers. This doesn't not limit you to one carrier, so you can have 3, 4, 5 different carriers. And then once that is done, we set up rules at the back end, which is what Neil is going to be showing you, to get to optimize and make sure that you interact with the NetSuite as little time as possible. And then all at the click of a button, you'll find that your packing slips, if you have, or dispatch notes would be printed automatically, as well as your labels will also be printed automatically. This on your printers, but for this demo, we will be just printing them on the screen. And once the transaction has gone through and is successful within NetSuite, either in your sales order or your item fulfillment, you'll find that tracking data will be stored there. So should there be a need for you maybe to see the transaction, the status of that transaction, you can always click on that link, which Neil will also show you. Click on that link just to see the status. And if you are making, say, for instance, a transaction or the booking that you are making as an export shipment, most carriers actually cater for what we call electronic trade document. So you don't necessarily need to attach any documents when you make that booking. All that will be sent through once you make the booking with OneShip. We work with all major carriers in the United Kingdom as well as the EU. We've actually introduced some South African carriers not so long ago. So our main aim with OneShip, as I said before, is to streamline the process, save you time, money, and eliminate as much errors as possible. But you don't have to take my word for it. We have a few case studies available upon request. Should you maybe want to find out how our customers are experiencing OneShip, we could always provide these case studies for you. So if you do want them. I think you can also just make use of the Q&A functionality, just say case studies. We will know that we need to, after this call, we just need to follow up with these for you. Alrighty, so like with any other suite apps, there are dependencies and compatibilities. With OneShip, we advise that item fulfillment be enabled in your account because that's where the processing is done. We support a range of item types. This could include your inventory item, your non-inventory item. We are actually compatible with 2 warehouse systems. That will be your R Smart as well as your WMS, or if you are using those, we can support it. Alrighty, so skipping to carriers, we have 2 types of integrations. What you're looking at right now is what we call our direct integration. We're always looking into growing this list. We have actually just added UPS, Royal Mail, and the Courier Guide to the list this year. But should there maybe be a carrier that you are using and we do not integrate with, you could always contact us and we'd have that conversation with you, reach out to that carrier and see their API and see if an integration is possible, then we will take it from there with you guys. But if you are, for instance, currently not using a carrier that we integrate with, we have what we call our shipping aggregators, AHEL, Global Freight Solution, and Ship Theory. These 3 aggregators give you access to carriers that we currently do not integrate with directly. For instance, we have customers mostly using Yodel, Parcelforce, and Palequays because we don't integrate with this. So that is also an option. Alrighty, I am going to pass on to Neil, but before that, when it comes to service group rules, there are rules that we set up. This is just some of the rules that can be set up just to automate your booking process, your shipment destination. So you could restrict a service based on shipment destination, your packages, your package dimensions, and things like that. But Neil will be showing you this shortly after this. So what he'll do right after this is he'll take us through a sales order, show you fields that are entered once we install the OneShip bundle, take you through the fulfillment. The fulfillment you see there, he'll show you the rules in play. We process OneShip 2 ways. There's one way we do it individually, and another way is we do it in bulk. This is for customers that maybe do more transactions in a day, 100 or more, and you want to just bulk process. Neil will also show you that option. Alrighty, Neil, can you take over first?
Thanks, Nolly. Yeah,
I'll stop sharing.
I'll start sharing. Right, so I've got that on my other screen. So hopefully that's coming through. I don't know if you can give me a thumbs up, Nolly, if that's coming through.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Okay, so right. So what I'm going to do now is going to show you how I'll show you how OneShip works, and then also explain how these shipping rules that Nani mentioned, how you can use those to really effectively completely automate the process. So I've got a test account here that we've been given by NetSuite, and just trying to make you aware that the response times on this account are generally very slow. So the sort of the response you see on here is not really going to be a reflection of what you'd see in a production account. It would generally be much quicker than what you're about to see. So I'm just going to start off by loading a sales order I created just before we started. And this is the process I'm going to demonstrate here. If you're processing booking on shipments with your carriers sort of one at a time in your dispatch area, and we've got a pretty standard sales order here. So again, if you're using NetSuite, this will be a familiar layout. There are 3 items on the sales order, and it's going to actually going from the UK to an address in France. So this is an export from the UK, and I've set this up to go with DHL. And this sales order is now ready to fulfill. So I'm just going to again manually create the fulfillment with the fulfill button, and we'll get again a very standard NetSuite fulfillment screen here. What one difference is this button, this Save and OneShip button. So that's added into this form when you install OneShip in your account. But the rest of it is standard fields. And we've got our 3 items there ready to fulfill. I can fulfill all of these in one go now, or I could partially fulfill this order, and OneShip will work quite happily in either mode. But I will fulfill all of these, and I'll just go now to the shipping tab on here, and just down at the bottom here, we've got the OneShip section. So again, these are fields that are added into the fulfillment form when OneShip's installed. So we can see we've got a specific DHL service, their Worldwide Express service, and we've got the weight and the package count of this fulfillment. And so these can be edited at this stage. Now, what we're trying to do with OneShip is really remove the need for you to edit it by making the process as quick as possible. But you always have that ability to change these if you need to. And for example, if we look here, as well as DHL, there's actually a TNT option as well that's available for this service. And I'll just explain now how it's selected this DHL service, because this is where these OneShip rules come in. And what we do is we link up OneShip to the NetSuite shipping items in your account. So on this screen is called the shipping method, which is here, the express delivery. And we create what we call a OneShip service group. So I'll just show you what that looks like. And I'll explain how I've set the rules up that have resulted in it selecting that DHL service. So we've got the various shipping items here in NetSuite that we've hooked up to OneShip. So on this express delivery shipping items, I've basically attached 6 different shipping services to it with a range of carriers, as you can see there, with DPD, DHL, TNT, and APC. And the one that's been selected is this one for DHL here. So I'll show you, I'll edit this and I'll explain why it's chosen that as the optimum service for this particular situation. So the rules cover, as Nonny mentioned earlier, a range of different factors. So the first one is the shipping destination. So and that looks at the country, the state, and potentially the postcode. So you can set some or all of these depending on your particular requirements. And in this case, basically, it's just saying that I want this shipping service, this DHL Worldwide Express, to be available for a destination country other than the United Kingdom. So it will be available for anywhere else in the world. But you can specify individual countries here if you need to. We've then got shipping locations and customers and suppliers. Now, I haven't used these in this case, but I could set, if you've got multiple warehouses you ship from, and you use one carrier from one warehouse, another carrier from another warehouse. It's very simple to set here, again, to make sure you're always selecting the correct carrier. And if you have particular special services you use, shipping services for any of your customers and suppliers, you can specify them here. We've then got what we call the shipment attributes, and here I have set some of these. So in this case, we're looking at the weight of the consignment. So again, what I'm specifying is this DHL service is only going to be available for a shipment that weighs 3 kilos or more. And we have a number of our customers who use different carriers depending on the weight of their consignments. And that's really to make sure they get the best rates for particular situations. So they'll have a number of sort of weight ranges set up for their different carriers. You can also use package count as a consideration, and package dimensions. So in this scenario, this DHL service will only handle consignments which are where the longest dimension is no longer than 1 meter, so it's 100 centimeters. So again, a useful feature if carriers have restrictions on package sizes. You can also go down to item level if you need to, and also to packaging. So OneShip has the ability, or has a feature where you can create packaging, and you can use that packaging as a factor in terms of deciding on the service. And then finally, we have the day of the week and the time of day as well. So several carriers will have Saturday delivery services, but for most of them, you can only book those services on a Friday. So it's simple to set that up to make that available when required. So that's the sort of the range of rules. So in this situation, I've used the country, the weight of the consignment, and the package size as the three factors I'm looking at, and that's resulted back to the fulfillment in selecting this worldwide express service for DHL. So if I change this, for example, if I change that, say, to 2 kilos, then it'll switch that to the alternative, which is TNT. And if I go back to the actually to the rule summary for this shipping item, we can see some of the information here. So the only other international service I've made available for this shipping item is TNT International Express, where the only rule is that the delivery country is not the United Kingdom. Hence, it's moved that one to TNT. Just to show you as well how the destination rule works. If I change the delivery address, so this customer I've set up has got multiple delivery addresses. If I change that to UK, again, that will change that now to an APC shipping service. And again, that's based on looking at the shipping address. But I'll just revert this back to France, and also back to over 3 kilos, again, to change that back to DHL, because that's the optimum one, the one I want to use in that situation. So it's likely in this scenario that, again, it's a better rate with DHL than TNT, but there are some restrictions. And now I'm ready to book this on with DHL. So I'll just click the Save and OneShip button. And what's happening now is this is booking this shipment on with DHL. So there's no need for me to manually enter all that data in terms of the destination address, the items, the weights, all the information that's required. That's automatically done. It's booked that on with DHL. So this would happen more quickly than you've just seen. So just this count is rather slow. And there's the shipping label. So it's created that shipping label. Again, in a real scenario, that shipping label would print straight out on your label printer, and there's no intervention required for that. It'll just print out, and then you just go on to the next shipments. But I've just got it to appear on the screen so you can see it. And if I go back now to the fulfillment, and if I go to the shipping tab, we've now got the tracking link there. So that's saved here on the item fulfillment, and also on the sales order, that tracking link saved, and that's a clickable link. So that will take me to DHL's tracking site. This is a test environment, so it won't work, but we'll get an error. But again, in a live environment, that would take you to the tracking with DHL. And many of our customers, they include this data in emails they send to their customers with that information included on it. Just finally on this bit, so this is an export shipment from the UK to France. So full customs clearance is required, but as Nonny sort of mentioned earlier, there's no need to print out things like copies of commercial invoices or certificates of origin, because that's all handled by OneShip when that booking is made with DHL. So we look at mostly the item records. So we're looking for things like the item weight, the country of manufacture, and the commodity code, and we send all that data to DHL, and most of the carriers we work with support that kind of paperless exporting process, which I know is really useful for our customers. So that's the process for a single shipment with OneShip. I just want to show you now a way of shipping multiple transactions in one go. I'll just close these tabs. And this is used by some of our customers who do very high volumes. So some of them are doing thousands of shipments a day. So although that process I've just shown you is going to save you lots of time, if you're having to manually enter data, in your shipping carrier system to create labels and make bookings. If you haven't do that 2,500 times a day, it's still going to take quite a bit of time. So with this process here, you can process a whole batch of transactions in one go. And this screen, we've created this screen to have the same look and feel as NetSuite's NetSuite's sales order fulfillment screen. So where you can create fulfillments, this has got essentially the same layout, where you've got some filters up here which you can set, and they'll result in a list of transactions that meet the criteria for those filters here, and you can process all of these in one go. So there's probably about 30 or 40 on there. So if I wanted to process all of those, and you can see there was a range of different carriers and different shipping services, what I would do, I click that mark all button, that would check all of those boxes, and then click process, and that would then process them one after the other, book them on, print labels, and any paperwork. I don't want to do them all because say this account is slow and it'll take a while. I'll just do these top three. We see we've got one here to France and two to the United Kingdom with APC. And just to show you that those rules again I showed you earlier, that one with the weight for DHL, again, if I change that weight there to 2, that's going to switch this service to TNT, that other option on that shipping item. And I'll just put that back to 5 because I want to send that with DHL. And so we'll just do these top 3. And I'll click process, and this is now going to book on these 3 transactions, with 1 with DHL, 2 with APC. So we'll get 3 shipping labels, and actually with APC, I've set our APC integration up to print off some paperwork as well. So again, you may need, as Nolly mentioned before, you may need to print things like delivery notes or packing slips, or invoices or things like that, and you can get OneShip to do that for you automatically at the same time as printing the shipping labels. And again, apologies for the delay on this. Again, this would normally have processed and be done by now. But there we go. So again, I've got these come up on the screen so you can see them. So we've got we should have 3 shipping labels lurking around here somewhere. There's DHL, there's the first APC one, and there's the second APC one, and we've got 2 forms. For some reason it hasn't rendered correctly. I wonder why that is. That's the PDF. There we go. You can see that one. So we've got 2 packing slips as well. So that's just a standard NetSuite template I've used for that. So again, those forms again will print out automatically on your form printer. You don't have to go in and sort of do anything. It just comes out. And as I say, that's widely used, that sort of bulk process by our customers who are doing very high volumes. They're finding it saving them more hours and hours of time actually, and enabling them to churn through quite high volumes of shipments that otherwise would be a problem, or they'd have to employ loads of people to handle it. So that's OneShip. That's what it does. I'll just hand back to Nonny just to finish off, and then we'll deal with any questions. So again, if there are any questions, please feel free to post them through the question button. So Nonny, back to you.
Ready. Thank you, Neil. Ready. Okay. Thank you for that, Neil. When it comes to pricing, we have a fixed licensing fee of 1099. This is per carrier annually, and we charge a once-off fee of $950 for setup. This is just once-off per carrier per shipper as well. This will include us setting you up in Sandbox, moving you to production, and in between training your guys at the warehouse. And once you are in production or live, we will always be available for support going forward. Alrighty, so in terms of benefits, our main aim is that everything must be done within NetSuite, and this should improve your productivity, efficiency, and accuracy, because it's all within NetSuite, and you can always track your consignments within NetSuite as well by just making use of that tracking link. And then regarding to costs, we have what we call a return on investment calculator also available upon request. If you want to play around and see how much you'd actually be saving when you make use of OneShip, please also just make use of the Q&A function just to say ROI. Then we will also know that we need to follow up with this. Alrighty, so just before we jump to questions, just to go through a review, Neil has taken us through how OneShip links to all our carriers and making the booking, the labels, and the packing slips in this case always been printed, and the tracking data been saved within NetSuite. We're actually looking into updating that the whole tracking part. We will also just collect live data from there, so you eventually get to a point where there is POD data available. And he also showed you how the services are set up and the rules as well. Ready. But if you maybe want to have us to have a demo for you, curated specifically for you, you could always, one, make use of this Q&A and just say demo, then we know we need to set up a demo with you, or you could reach us on www.bluebridgerun.com/contact, or just reach us an email on oneship.bluebridgerun, and we will make sure that we set time aside to do this for you. Alrighty. I think we
Okay. Yeah, I've got
questions.
Yeah, thanks. I've got some questions. Yeah, one of them you just answered actually was about proof of deliveries. So at the moment, the tracking we save in NetSuite is just at the time the booking is made, and we don't update it. So you'd have to go click the link to go to the shipper's tracking site. But we are enhancing that, and we'll be releasing that later this year. So we update OneShip on a quarterly basis, where we add in new carrier integrations and new features, and we're planning to deliver significant enhancements to our tracking features by the end of the year, and that will include saving the proof of delivery in NetSuite. The next one was about Yodel, and so we don't have a direct integration with Yodel at the moment, but I don't know if you go back up, Nolly, to the list of carriers through our integration, our aggregator partners. So we can you can use OneShip with Yodel, and through our partners, and that would actually for Yodel it would be either Ship Theory or GFS. So they connect. So we would connect to them through OneShip, and they connect to Yodel in the background for you. Once you've installed OneShip, it would work in exactly the same way as I've just demonstrated through our integration, our aggregator partners there. That's the same. And then there's one more question, which is about WMS and using handheld devices to process packing. So that's something at the moment. You would have to use OneShip in the way I've just shown you, using a workstation. So you'd have to do your packing using your handheld device in WMS, and then go to workstation. We're actively working on an integration with mobile devices, actually for WMS and also for RF Smart. And again, we expect that to be available actually very soon, as we can support in OneShip. So would you be able to? You better use OneShip and trigger it and get all that benefit of the automatic booking and preventing and getting rid of that need to double enter data and trigger it through that mobile.
Okay. Sorry about that. I think Neil's having internet issues, but yes, with handheld devices, we eventually want to get to a point where if you scan the ticket or the label, it would then trigger the process, just like it did. Alrighty. Thank you everybody for joining us. Please do be on the lookout for our next webinar. We'll be announcing the date. But thank you. And if you do have any other questions after this call, please do feel free to reach out to us.
I think I dropped off, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, very sorry. Apologies for that. Hopefully, I
No
think you.
problem.
I'm sure Nonny picked everything up. But yeah, so thanks everybody, and we'll hopefully see you at the next webinar.
Thank you. Bye.